Good morning, witches. It is Sunday morning, 8 o'clock Central Time, and it's January 20th. I believe there's a full moon going on. Very, very cool. And it's very powerful. I don't know if you can feel it. I think it depends on when you were born, whether it impacts you or not. So, or how intense it is. So, but it's a super moon, which means it's very close to the Earth. So it looks really, really big and it's very bright. I think it's awesome. So I see somebody has joined us. Good morning. And let's see. First thing I want to talk about is something that I talked about before. And it's about binding and casting out what I feel like is possessing my body. And I don't want to go down the road of demons. Are demons real? Are they fallen angels? What are they? You can call them demons. You can call them whatever you want. I like to call them astral parasites and thought forms. And sometimes these thought forms can be from other people. Society, we create in society. We create thought forms that we all kind of buy into. And I just noticed, I think my eyes are red. I just took a shower, and sometimes the water getting into my eyes makes them red. Okay, so I don't know why I felt like I needed to explain that. No, I'm not dying. Okay, and I'm not high. That's the other thing. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because at the time I was, and this is in another video, but that time I was struggling with some real discomfort in my colon, and also intense cravings to eat food, of course not healthy food, right? And those are signs of parasites. And I was thinking about parasites like candida, and as well as worms and different things, that they are not part of my body. You know what I mean? They are like an animal living inside my body. So they have an intelligence. They're alive. They have a separate intelligence from my body. It's not like my cells in my body are acting crazy. That's my body, and I can communicate with it because it's part of my body. But a parasite is not supposed to be there necessarily. It's not healthy for me. Now we have probiotics. That's, the positive bacteria. Those are separate intelligence too. So there's all sorts of stuff going on in the body. But I started thinking of it as like a separate intelligence from myself. And in this book, and I know you can't read it because Facebook is stupid, but this is Techniques That Work for Me by Raymond Grace, and I highly recommend this book. You can just Google Raymond Grace, and you'll find his books. I think it's about $15. It's you can get it a hard copy if you want. Just request it. But in it, he talks about. Just moved the camera. Sorry. This stand is real shaky, but he talks about the frequency of disease. And this is a little bit different than what I was saying, that parasites have a separate intelligence from the body. But he talks about diseases have a frequency, and you can scramble that frequency and get rid of it. And I've tried all that, and I've done the binding and casting out, and it made a big difference. Now for me, when I start a remedy, like taking an herb or supplements or something to improve my health and to help heal whatever's going on in my body, it works for about a day, and then it goes right back to where it was. And that's another thing that made me think this has an intelligence of its own. And I feel like, binding and casting it out, that worked really, really well. The cravings went away for over a week, and the discomfort went away for over a week. I mean, it was several weeks, I believe. And then it started creeping back in, and I was binding it and casting it out, binding it and casting it. I got really tired of doing that. Why do I have to keep binding it? What can I do to make this permanent? So my process was to, scramble the frequencies, neutralize it, have it removed by the angels or spirit guides or, helpers, healers to come to my aid and remove it, neutralize it, take it away so that it can't harm me anymore. But it would eventually come back. So I've been really going down thinking about this, and I feel like my body, something within me, again, I've talked about this a lot, something within my body is a energetic match and allowing it to come back in. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do I permanently change the energy in my body so it's no longer an energetic match to these intelligences, is that a word? These beings, things that can come into my body. And I'm thinking totally in terms of energy, okay? I know that parasites are living things and they can get in my body, and I can take herbs to get rid of them. And I've done that, and it didn't work for me. So that's why I'm going down this road of energy. What can I do energetically in my body to change my body's frequency, energy resonance, I'm not sure what all to call it, so that it's no longer an energetic match. So I'm doing a deep dive into my subconscious, my beliefs, my toxic beliefs, and looking at my positive affirmations that I've come up with to replace them, and I'm not feeling much movement, and it's driving me crazy. And on top of it, that I've mentioned it before, that I suffer, my challenge is low dopamine, which is the blahs. Like this morning, I was really struggling with the blahs. Just don't want to do it. So I really need something that'll balance those neurotransmitters to get my body to make them, especially the dopamine, because it's low, and it's all part of menopause. So menopause will screw up your neurotransmitters, will screw up your progesterone, your estrogen and testosterone and all of that stuff. Cortisol is all in there too. It gets overexcited. So I am easily stressed out, and I look at my daily routine, and I cut out things that are too much of a struggle. I change the way I do salads. I buy the bag salads so I don't have to wash the salad, the leafy greens, and tear them up in small pieces, because it was just taking too long and increasing my stress. So I look at my daily routine and try to reduce whatever is creating or causing struggle for me. So that helps a lot. And and meditating, which I'm having a really hard time because cortisol is so high. So, and menopause does all that. It screws all of that up. On top of that, I have candida overgrowth, which causes leaky gut, which leads to autoimmune disease. So if you have an autoimmune disease, you have leaky gut, because that's the only way autoimmune, from my understanding, remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not licensed or anything. My understanding is the only way autoimmune disease can develop is through leaky gut. Okay, so I don't want to get too deep into that, because you can look it up on in YouTube. There are a lot of doctors who explain leaky gut and how to fix it. So then I ran into, and I talked about this last week, Wim Hof, WIMHOF, Wim Hof method. The guy is from Holland, and his name is Wim, W-I-M, last name is Hof, H-O-F. And what really attracts me to his method is that you can see it. It's not hocus pocus. It's not, I'm sending you this energy, and if you don't feel it, then you're blocking it. and it's all airy fairy, and you can't really put your thumb on it. You can't put your finger on it. With Wim, you can see videos of him running around in the snow, barefoot, shorts, no shirt. Okay, he talks about the cold being necessary to stimulate the body's immune system, to balance the hormones, to balance or produce neurotransmitters that are low, and balance them. And so the cold is necessary to keep the body healthy. And not only has he done that, but he's broken, or set up like 26 records, Guinness World Records. And in order, from my understanding, in order to get into the Guinness Book of Records, somebody has to watch you and actually record that you are actually doing what you claim you can do. So he climbed Mount Everest with no oxygen, because when you get up really high, you need to use the oxygen to continue. He didn't do that. He didn't need it. In shorts, and he had to wear shoes with spikes so he can, to have traction. I think he took people up Kilimanjaro, and you can see these videos. They're running around in their shorts, no shirt. This is proof. You can do this too. He teaches people to do this. He was in Holland, the University of Holland, I think it is, or University of Netherlands. I can't remember. But they took him and 12 of his students plus 12 other people, just common everyday people that have not been trained by him. And they injected all of them with an endotoxin. And the response was supposed to be chills, fever, and headaches. The people who have not been trained by Wim Hof, they all came down with those symptoms. The people that Wim Hof and his students, none of them had those symptoms. They were injected with his endotoxin, all of them, and his students did not get sick. The Stanford, I believe, had him sit in a container of ice, and they hooked him up to machines to monitor his heart and his temperature and all that. His temperature, body temperature, never went down. This is real stuff. This is huge. And I hate the cold. Absolutely hate the cold. So I've been doing this Wim Hof method. So Monday and Tuesday, I did 3 rounds of the breathing. And it was fairly easy to do, but I found that my body got cold doing the breathing. And then, let's see, then I did meditation, and I did some exercise, and then took a shower. I started out hot, which that's what he recommends, and then you turn it down cold until your body starts reacting to it and starts the short breath, like, that your body is reacting to the cold. So then I turned it down to that, and I forced myself to take long, deep breaths, and eventually I got used to it, and it felt okay. And then I went off to work, and the second day, well, the first 2 days I did not take a cold shower. Wednesday I took a cold shower, and after that, on my drive to work, I felt this. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what is causing it to disconnect, but anyway, let's keep going. Thursday I did the 3 rounds in the cold shower, and I felt improvements in my symptoms. So my body was feeling a lot better. And Friday, I did the same thing, the cold shower. I was able to turn it down really cold, and my mind was blown. I could not believe how cold I was able to get the water and still feel comfortable. I felt comfortable. I didn't want to get out. This was amazing. This was just blowing my effing mind. And also, the whole week, I was get into my car. Actually, the days that I did the cold shower, the first 2 days, I still was bundling up, had to put my gloves on, and I have a seat warmer, had to turn that on to get warm until the car was warm enough to turn the heater on. But Wednesday on, the days that I took the cold shower, didn't need any of that. Did not put my gloves on, did not turn the heater, the seat heater warmer on. And I was just excited. However, I sit under a vent at work that blows enough air that my plant the leaves are flopping around. It is cold. And I brought a thermometer temperature thing in, and they keep it at 69 to 70 degrees, but when there's wind blowing, it just makes me feel really cold. So I'm still cold at work. And I'm hoping the more, because from what I understand, what I gather from all the videos I've seen, it's cumulative. It's your body becomes more adjusts more and more to the cold, and your immune system gets stronger, and you're more impervious to the cold. Especially when your hormones get more in balance and your neurotransmitters and all that stuff get better, you're healthier. So I'm looking forward to not being so cold at work, and being able to go outside and not feel cold. So I'm looking forward to that. So all of this, I mean, he's watched these videos, and he's out there in the icy cold water, and he's fine, has no problems. And at Stanford University, they did not see his body temperature drop. And he was in the water for a good, I think, an hour. Or I think he was in that ice thing for an hour. So it's real. I mean, it's real. And you can learn it too. So if you want to take his course, you can go to his website, Wim Hof Method. And he has a couple of courses there that you can take. One is just the basics. And you can go on YouTube. What I've been doing is watching a bunch of videos from people who are trying the Wim Hof method and sharing their results. But watch his interviews, because you want to follow his system, the way he lays it out. I watched a video of this guy who was saying you have to force the air out. You pull your abdominals in to force all of the air out. That's pranayama. That's not the Wim Hof method. He says when you exhale, you just relax, and there will be some air still in your lungs, and that's what you want. You don't want to push all of that. You don't want to force anything. So, and I believe the cold is key. The breathing and the cold is key. This one guy said you don't have to do the cold showers or the cold ice baths. I believe you do. It's a big, huge part of it. So make sure you listen to Wim Hof and how he says you have to do it. So when you see these other videos, you make sure that, you know, if they're not following his method exactly the way he lays it out, then their results may not be in alignment. You may not want to pay attention to that, if that makes sense. So you want to, you know, I'm watching all these other videos because I want to get ideas of other techniques. Maybe there's some other things that he teaches in the course that I might want to, you know, improve things by getting his course, if that makes sense. Because you can get a lot out of what you can find on YouTube, but I'm wondering if there's more that I can get out of this. Maybe to accelerate it, maybe to make it better, I don't know. So I am contemplating it. I am going to, after this Sunday, the next one I want to get into money. And who doesn't want money, right? So I want to do some things to bring in the money in order to take this course. Now I have credit cards, but I'm not using my credit cards. Credit cards are, it's basically fake money. It's not real to me. And so I cut that out. I want extra money to come in that is not from my credit cards. And I think that's really important for programming the mind for money. So anyway, on the health thing, I mentioned before that, say your disease is right here, your remedy needs to be above it to overcome it. So I feel with me, everything I'm doing has only gotten me to here. And I'm hoping that the Wim Hof method, on top of everything else that I'm doing, is going to push it above and make that better. So for me, um, I want to maybe do more rounds. Like, no, I can do it in the morning because I have a regimen, I have a schedule that helps me even with the what I call the blah monsters or the blah demons. And I don't want two demons who, I don't know, I just don't want to do it, right? I don't feel like it. I can overcome it if I have a schedule. On the weekends, it's hard. So yesterday I didn't do it because I didn't want to. But if I do it twice a day, if I get into a regimen like at night when I'm in bed, I can do the breathing. And so if I do it twice a day, the breathing, I'm hoping that will increase, accelerate things. So I find it very, very interesting and hopeful with it, because I mean, you got all these people injected with an endotoxin and they did not get sick. We've got a lot of stuff going on with this country, with our food, has pesticides, has all kinds of stuff, chemicals and whatnot, and it just feels like it's overwhelming. And you know, you can get organic, and I think that helps, but it's still not 100%. And I really want to work with energy, and I'm thinking I want to incorporate more of, you know, a lot of religions, they pray over their food. I blessed the house, and when I moved into this house, it was a very noisy house. There were spirits in here. I didn't feel any like ghosts, like people who had not crossed over. I felt like it were nature spirits. I started blessing the house and laying out what was allowed to come into the house, and blessing the house made a huge difference. It's quiet now, and there are no disturbances, and things are running better. Like the dryer. Oh my gosh, you guys, the dryer was so noisy, and it sounded like it was falling apart. It was dying. And blessing the house, I blessed all the appliances in the house. I blessed all the equipment, the electrical things, as well as manual things. And the dryer purrs now. Serious. We didn't do anything. We did not do anything. The dryer purrs now. So blessing is huge. It's powerful. And I feel like if I incorporate praying over my food and putting into my food programming to heal my body, I think I can I can help things. Water is huge. It's very receptive. It's feminine energy, water, emotional. So cleansing, clearing, neutralizing whatever is in the water already I find is key. It's very important to neutralize that, whatever is going on in there. And then Raymond talks about inviting the spirit of water into the water. And if you do use the pendulum, you'll find that you can, if you take tap water especially, ask if the spirit of water is in it. No, you're gonna, because it's stagnant water. It's been sitting in the pipes. It's dead, and if you're in the city, it's got chemicals in it. And if you're in the rural, we got a well, but it's got pesticide residue and fertilizer in it. So it's not healthy. And so the spirit of water will not go into the water. But if you neutralize all of that, neutralize the frequencies, scramble the frequencies, that's what Raymond says. Scramble the frequencies of your disease, scramble the frequencies of all the bad stuff in the water, neutralize it, get rid of it, remove it. Then bless the water and invite the spirit of water to come into the glass of water. And then you can program it to heal your body, or to have within it. And one of his students did this, and he claims that he doesn't eat anything, he just drinks water, that he is programmed to have all of the nutrients in it that his body needs. And he claims, I can't prove it, he claims that that's all he does is drink this water, and he's healthy, he's fine. But program the water and consume it. And you can do that with food. Program the food by blessing it. I did that with the house. It made a huge difference. Things that were malfunctioning in the house is now functioning fine. Skip called me at work one time, and he says he was frantic because his computer was acting like it was dying. He says, "Can you bless my laptop?" And I did, and he said it did get better. It did get better, and he was able to get everything off of it because it was starting to die. He was able to get everything off of it that he needed and back it up, and then he started looking at replacement laptops. So it functioned fine until he was able to get a new laptop. So that was cool. It was awesome. So blessing things is huge. It changes the energy vibration of your house, of your food, of your body. I've tried blessing my body, by the way, and I don't know why, but it didn't work. It didn't make changes, and I think that's because we humans have toxic beliefs that we're attached to that have negative or toxic energy from emotions that are attached to that toxic belief that keeps it anchored and keeps it running those programs and producing those symptoms. So I'm back to that again. So that has to be included. Wim Hof plus diet plus exercise and meditation and stretching and the cold showers and the breathing and positive affirmations. All of that I feel is going to work together, and I have to be patient and just keep going with it. 30 days is the test that I give to things, but I've heard that probiotics take about 60 to 90 days before you notice a difference. You got to keep taking them in large doses before you start seeing a difference. So I don't know, I might adjust to 90 days, but I'm not sure. Have to feel it out. I'm just going to keep going. I'm pounding on this until I see a difference, right? Expecting change, expecting things to improve, and I think that will help as well. So anyway, I hope you get into the Wim Hof technique, method, and use it. Watch the YouTube videos. Go look at his website. Go look at his videos on YouTube. He's got a crap ton of interviews that he's done, and he goes over all the details, the science, the poking and the prodding, and it's just, I think it's amazing. I think it's a missing link to a lot of people's health issues, and I feel it's important. One thing, I was listening to somebody talk about her health issues, and she said that it was in her contract to suffer through these health issues, and I'm thinking, no. We have these things in our contract we have to work on, but it's not, if you don't learn the lesson, you continue to suffer. So the focus, the goal is to learn the lesson so you stop suffering. I think somebody born crippled is learning lessons through being crippled, but if they find what it is, and I don't know anything, but I feel like there's hope. I don't feel like somebody has to be stuck. I mean, there are healers who have healed people who are crippled, and it changed them, and they were no longer crippled. So I don't feel like everybody has to stay crippled. If they were born crippled, it's in my contract, I have to be crippled. No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. Anyway, I believe there is an answer to every problem. And so that's why we're here. We're here to discover and experience and figure things out and then teach each other, right? Okay, so I'm going to go for now. Next week, I am out. I will not be able to do a video, but I should be back the week after. And we'll get into money, because money is huge. Money is a symptom, I understand that, but it's so integrated with a whole lot of other things. I think it's important to look at it and get a handle on it. So I'm going to let you go for now, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time, not next week, next time. Blessed be.